All right, thank you everybody for joining. Another council and core meeting. Can you share my screen? There's nothing too exciting to see here, just to kind of help run through the items on the agenda. Thumbs up. Yeah, we can see. All right, cool. No worries. All right, so just some general housekeeping at the start. As you guys all know, this call is being recorded. It will be published to the community to watch. The primary purpose of these calls is to give the community a window into what we're doing, our activities as council members, how we're organising, and also gives us a chance to organise and align on maybe some key issues or things that we need to address, discuss. Sometimes it's much easier to hash things out in a conversation via chat, follow up on tasks, discuss proposals, things like that. Basically, all these things aimed at improving the ecosystem. If you're a council or a core member and you do not have access to the council and core channel in Discord, whether you're in this call or you're watching this back later, please reach out so we can get you added to that as well, because that's where we've been having a lot of our conversations, again, there so the community can follow along with what we're doing and what we're saying. So yes, the way this records, I don't think it shows everyone who's on the call, so I'm just going to do a quick rundown of everyone I see here, so people watching know who's attending. So we have Odd and Adrian from Flamingo, we have Balducci and Tyler from COZ, Maria from Everstake, Vitor from Neo Research, Jaime and Shargon from Red4Sec and also Core Development. Song Ping is here sitting for Eric. We've got Gwill and Mickey or Michael from Axe Labs. We have John from Hashkey, I believe. Is that correct? John's from Hashkey. Sorry, Anne, where are you from? Forgive me.
I'm from Imstones.
Imstones, there you go. We have Alvaro, who's working on core, and then in this others box here, I can't see it's too many people. It doesn't show me everyone on the screen. We have Alibaba from Neoburger. Who have I missed? Jimmy from Core. Can anyone speak up if I have missed your name?
Neo SPCC.
Sorry, Anna. Anna from the USPCC as well. Okay. Cool.
By the way, while we are here, you can send an invitation to Roman if it's needed.
Okay, right now for him to join? Or just in the future?
Yeah, sure. In the future. No, in the future. Because okay, he wasn't invited to this call.
No worries. Yeah, it is a big list that I've got, and I'm still adding emails and names to it. So again, if there's anyone listening, watching this later, or there's a team member of anyone here that you want added to the calls, please let me know so I can add their emails to the invites. Okay, let's move along. All right, so just quickly, just to go over the status updates of the things that we were tracking from Centrepoint. We don't have to spend a lot of time on this because some of these will be discussed later on. The reduced fees on Neo M3, the execution fee factor with decimals, I believe, has been merged, so we've made good progress there. The whitelist of free contracts seems like it's still in progress. We'll discuss them later. Flattening of the gas rewards, again, is in progress. It seems like there's going to be a multi-phase step thing for that. We did manage to finally reduce the candidate registration fee. We have got the enhanced governance platform up. The MVP is available for use. Again, that's a topic for later, so we can start testing that and using that, making better use of that, start making decisions and discuss things. We published the reports and commitments. That was done a while ago. And then the other thing that we haven't done, or is I put as incomplete, it's not as down the line as some of the others, is at Centrepoint, we said that we were all going to share the commitments and values from our social media accounts to signal to the community that yes, our organization, whatever organization you belong to, stands behind this. And I believe there's only like maybe 5 or 6 council members that have done that. So if you're a council member at that point, and you haven't done that, I would implore you to do so. I think it's important to signal that to the community. Yeah. You're on mute, mate.
I just wanted to comment on the flatten or the reduced fees topic, since there's another task there, right? So we've implemented the execution fee factor decimals, but we need to actually change the fee.
Yeah, we haven't done that yet. Yeah, right.
So there's another step there.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah, I think, I mean, it's not pushed, it's only immersion in the code base, right? It's not pushed on the mainnet yet. So regarding the commitment signal, if anyone doesn't have, you can't find the initial document that we produced and published, it's in the, I'm pretty sure it's in the announcement of the NEA Discord, but if you can't find it, message me and I'll point you towards it. So just those out of the way. And then we can move on to the agenda. So I kind of split it up into 3 different categories: general updates, discussion topics, and then proposals. And I'm kind of thinking this is how we'll structure these moving forward. Again, I'm happy to take feedback, but this is not the best way to do it. People have better ideas than me. There's people a lot smarter than me in this call. So the updates are generally just things we're doing as our groups, organizations, projects to help improve the ecosystem of our own accord. I think it's good to share those amongst the council and with the community. Discussion topics are things we need to sort of align on, or maybe there's like a decision that needs to be made, or we're not clear on how things are moving forward, things like that. And then proposals are things that we want to bring to the council to discuss because we want to action as a council. Hopefully a lot of those ideas go onto the governance portal, which is what I've done with the Europe Hub pilot, but we can still bring them here to discuss them a little bit first. So we'll kick off with the updates, and I'm going to pass it across to you, Ty, because you've got 2 updates to give. So I'm going to hand the mic over to you and hand the screen over to you if you want to share anything.
Yeah, I don't have any slides to share, so I'm just going to provide a verbal update. So there are 2 projects we've been working on. I think most of the people here are familiar with at least one of them. The first is Cidade Matarazzo, who was subsidized to attend Centerpoint 1, and then we provided a status update at Centerpoint 2. I believe Unlocking the Chain included a kind of a news bulletin about just kind of providing a summary in public for that Centerpoint 1, just to address some of the public comments and harassment that's going on GitHub right now. Regarding the project, we have a signed letter of intent from Cidade Matarazzo to implement a much more expanded scope of integration with the complex. And the majority of it circles around a loyalty solution and a custom point of sale. So you guys for anybody who's not familiar, Cidade Matarazzo is equivalent to the entire Marina Bay Sands campus. It's a luxury hotel. It's a Rosewood hotel with apartments. It has approximately, I think, 70 different retail storefronts, including a series of restaurants. It has a Soho House there, if you're familiar with what Soho House is. It has a large amphitheater for A-list performances like Alicia Keys, as well as a state-of-the-art alternate reality type of experience as well, or technology integration as well. It has a cultural hub. There's a historical church there that's pretty well known within the community. It's a kind of a cultural center point in the largest city in the Americas. And this is currently, I visited it earlier this year around Blockchain Rio timeframe to meet with the team with Balducci, and then I'll be returning there shortly as well to do an architecture deep dive. Anyways, the project has been signed. We're starting to work on the formal contract and architecture definition along with the requirements now. It will include a loyalty token. Currently, the plan would be for that to be a NEP 17 token on Neo N3. There's some internal discussion about pushing a new token abstraction standard to help support this and some other needs as well. But for the time being, we can assume it will be a nEPP 17 token or a series of them. There will be, and that'll offer things like cashback and loyalty rewards at some of the brick and mortar shops. It'll offer some expanded experiences and things like that. I think people should interpret it as being kind of like, if you're familiar with like an airline, like flight rewards type of program or any other loyalty program that has multiple tiers, it's going to be something similar to that. It'll also include custom point of sale integration. So the campus uses a custom point of sale solution. So we will be adding integrations there as well, which means that every single vendor on the campus will have Neo integration. Most of that will probably be leveraging stables. So that's going to be a major priority for us. We're going to start being probably pretty aggressive on that front, especially for when it comes to the retailers who are trying to swap in and out of that. It'll also include an NFT ticketing platform as well, similar to the loyalty token solution. I think we can assume that it will be a nEPP 11. There has been some discussion internally, just like with the nEPP 17, about an abstracted token standard, just to make deployments easier and ensure standardization in the ecosystem. But that's maybe something that we can discuss in a nEPP PR. That would be specifically for the amphitheater. So we're obviously talking about things like Alicia Keys tickets and things like that on Neo N3. Those tickets, if they are used, would convert into kind of a certificate, like a POAP type of situation as well, which could have additional value downstream. It'll also include ramps as well as swaps. The intent on the swap side of things is to collaborate with the Flamingo team on building out some of that infrastructure. I've also reached out to some other ecosystem partners on the ramp side to see if we can add kind of an in-ecosystem or in-community integration there, although that's still being evaluated. Any questions on Cidade Matarazzo? I feel like I just vomited out a bunch of details, but in general, it's a pretty comprehensive scope from a project. It should also establish a major hub for us to spearhead into, to support and grow in the future as well. There's a large business complex there, and Dean will present some of the stuff on the European side for like a hacker house type of experience. This also sets us up with an anchor to do something similar, possibly in Sao Paulo as well as if we wanted to host anything that's more significant there, like a DevCon or something. It's pretty large. Adrian?
Yeah, maybe since some of the community members of Neo probably will watch these videos, maybe you could summarize hopefully you can summarize in a few words. One, are the users going to be aware that you're using Neo technology? And number two, that's probably a yes or no answer, but number two, how will all these activities translate to maybe on-chain activity?
Yeah, so the intent currently is to run it on MainNet. My personal preference would be that we get 3-second block time in, because that was flagged in explicitly. 3-second block time is the technical requirement, right? The user need that showed up was on fast resolution and a good user experience, right? I'm sure everybody here has used like, a card protocol before. Like if you have to really like a long now to some extent, but if you have to stand there for 20 seconds waiting for your your transaction to confirm when you buy a shirt, it's frustrating. So
Yeah.
3-second block time would be ideal, or something quick, below the kind of the threshold of acceptability for most users. But the plan would be for it to be on N3 MainNet. So all the transactions relayed every time there's a swap or claim on the loyalty program or redemption, anytime there's a ticket redemption, all of that would be on MainNet. The fee reduction would be very nice also, because those transactions, I think this is a nice problem to have if it starts costing a lot, as we discussed at Centerpoint 2.
Yeah.
But for now, I think it's okay. The transaction cost is probably going to be okay until utility starts ramping up. And I've posted about this a few times. Ideally, we would have some sort of architecture where we could easily support like a private net, MainNet type of thing, where the transactions on private net are anchored on MainNet. And then there's this nice universal bridge to communicate between them when there's interop necessary. I'm looking at both Michael and Gil, who are on my display right now.
Hopefully, MainNet will be good enough to do everything you need to do. That will be
it's
awesome.
possible. Yeah. Currently, it should meet our needs, with exception of that transaction, that block time consideration, and obviously the fees. But yeah, I think it'll be on MainNet. Yeah,
this is the smart economy in the real world. So I think the community will be happy to hear all those activities being on MainNet. That would be really, really cool to see. And we would hopefully have a lot more like transaction counts and activity, but also like people using the tech without knowing they use the tech. That's like bank infrastructure today. If you swipe your card or you tap your card, and there's a million things happening. And
my hope with it also is that it spearheads the integration points, right? So if you can imagine somebody goes onto grant shares and they submit a project proposal, or we have a new project that's just organically showing up in the ecosystem, and they are looking for like user acquisition. This immediately provides a hub with all of these brick and mortars across all of these different market segments that they can potentially collaborate with or reach out to run a pilot.
Nice.
It's a lot easier because all of the integration, all of the difficult work for a small team to implement is already done. The foundation is already there. That's my hope. Balducci has his hand up, and he's probably the closest internal point of contact on the project, so he may have some really great insight on it.
Yeah, I just so I can keep us running on time. Maybe after Balducci's comment, we'll move on to the next item.
Just a very quick point to add to what Tyler mentioned. We are starting with the unit in São Paulo, but this is actually a great opportunity for us to set ourselves as the backbone in Web3 for this complex, which is planning to expand much in many different ways, not only in Brazil, but abroad as well. So just to give a bit of scope, a vision on the size that we're talking about. We're not just talking about this unit in São Paulo, but doing a good job in implementing this in this unit will set us up for a global partnership, which is very interesting for the network as well.
Yeah, sure. Awesome. Well, great job on that, guys. I know it's been a lot of months worth of work to get to this point, so it'd be awesome when the rubber fully hits the road. So cool. Do you want to move on to the Iron Studios one, Tyler?
Sure. So the Iron Studios project is another, I guess we can call it a real world adoption project, not RWA, although it kind of is. It's a coined term now, though. So this is a project that is being primarily run. It's kind of a hybrid COZ item systems project, where there's a software layer that COZ is working on, and then there's a hardware layer that item systems is responsible for, and it will deploy, and this is in 5 days, basically, but we'll be deploying about 6,000 initial units over the next 12 months of large scale, I guess they would be called art sculptures, on key like pop culture licenses all over the world. So if you guys are familiar, I don't actually have a great example here. My Xenomorph back here is probably the best best example of this. But if you've ever seen like these large, Dean's got one, he can show you. Oh, the little tiny one. These large scale like art sculptures, some of them are like 1/4 human scale, right? They'll be we'll basically be distributing digital certificate of authenticity on N3 MainNet using NFI technology, and more importantly, they'll be used as a pre-sale mechanism. So instead of buying and receiving, one of the things, a lot of you guys have been to conferences before, it's kind of a pain walking around with big stuff that you have to fit in your suitcase. So our partner will basically be selling these cards, and then those will be used as a certificate of authenticity and proof of ownership to then go and provide shipping information to have them shipped to you later. And then you have that verifiable authenticity of the product. And these are with one of the most premium statue vendors on earth, to qualify that Dean can go to his local comic book store and find them in Sydney. And they're
after Tyler told me about this, I went and I happened to go into the local comic and pop culture store here, and I saw a Wolverine and Deadpool, I'm a big Deadpool fan, statue on the shelf by that company. It was like $600. It's big, $600.
So these, in the 4 that we're piloting in next week, will be Star Wars, Predator. There's a DC, like a Batman one, and then there's a Marvel Iron Man one as well. So those will be NFIs on Neo N3. And then there will be, I think, up to or potentially over 15 additional lines as well. And those will be, as I mentioned, globally distributed. And that's the initial partnership. Once that deal completes, we'll convert it in theory into something that's larger, and more permanent or more stable as well. It's one other comment on this. The intent between these 2 agreements is to hopefully hire in to Neo, since we will need additional resources there to scale both of these projects. In both cases, contract development and familiarity with the ecosystem will be incredibly valuable. So this should open up some requisitions for us in the ecosystem, and hopefully also some RFPs for infrastructure development from independent teams. At least that's my hope. But that's not something I think I would write down yet. It's kind of our initial plan.
Cool. Does anybody have any questions for Tyler? She's got his hand up.
Just to complement one point, this is one objective that we have with this as well, is that the company, this company Idle Studios, they also are one of the owners of the event where this will be happening. So we are also planning on making a good splash with the project there to secure follow-up projects with the event itself. And for next year, we're aiming at some general entertainment events such as this one, Tyler, I don't know if you mentioned the event itself. I think that's an interesting piece of information, which is Comic-Con Experience here in Brazil. So it's a very interesting flag to work with us, a very interesting brand to work with as well in that regard.
And I just want to go on record to state that this required zero budget from the ecosystem at all to do this conference activation.
Cool. Any questions on this from anyone? Well, as a huge nerd myself, I'm excited to have like Marvel licensed stuff on Neo. So that's a nice. They're in the cabin.
We're shooting for. They have one that's like a giant Anakin Skywalker one, and I don't think we're going to be able to intercept it. But getting Eric to sign one and like give away to the ecosystem would have been kind of cool, but we won't get in time.
All right.
So
cool.
Thanks.
Cool. Good work, Tyler. So next on the agenda was Orbit. I won't take very long on this. This is just something that the NNT team's been working on that I just wanted to let the community know is coming down the track. Basically, it's a new feature that we're adding to nDApp that will allow users to claim rewards just for using the ecosystem as they normally would. Well, select contracts. So this is the design. It's in staging. It's nearly ready. But basically, the way this is going to work is that there'll be select contracts that we will choose, and users just use them. Right? It could be a particular swap pair on Flamingo. It could be like purchasing a pack of game assets on a game. It could be depositing funds into an EOFS. It could be any sorts of things. And basically what the system does is it counts all the transactions that go on, and there's a pool of rewards associated with each contract. So let's say it's 100 gas or 100 whatever tokens. At the end of the kind of the epoch, the round period, users can connect their wallet to nDApp, which they can already do, but they'll be able to connect it to Orbit, and they'll be able to go in and see. Sorry, my scroll is not very great. They'll be able to go in and see how many transactions they had made on that contract. And depending on how many they have made, they will receive proportionally that many rewards, that percentage of rewards from the overall reward pool. So to keep it simple, let's say you made 10% of all the transactions on that particular contract, you'll be eligible to just claim 10% of the rewards. There's no sign up or anything like that. You just go and connect your wallet. We obviously have to choose the contracts that we do carefully, right? Because there is a way to gain certain things. For some contracts, it doesn't really matter. Other contracts, maybe it does. But then at the end of the claim period, there will be some rewards left over because not everyone who made a transaction on that contract may have claimed their rewards. So once that's done, the remaining reward pool, so let's say there was still 50% of the rewards left unclaimed, they will be automatically distributed to those who did claim based on their percentage, right? So if you had claimed 50% of the claimed rewards, you would receive 50% of the unclaimed when they're distributed. So this is just something that we're adding to nDApp to give people some incentive to just try things a little bit more, play with things, be rewarded for doing so. And one of the reasons that I just wanted to show you guys now is because there may be projects out there who want to be a part of, like when we launch this, have certain things on there, they want to be incentivized. We want to talk to you about that. So you can see from the designs, it will be on the home page, so it'll be there, it'll be very visible. And then when the user goes to their wallet page, so this is kind of like what the wallet page on nDApp looks like. A little bit here, this is the one's connected. Yeah, they'll be able to see all this information as well. Like their address, their unclaimed gas, all that sorts of things, their NFTs that you'll already be able to see. They will also have the Orbit overview there, so they can be able to track their activities, see what rewards they've claimed historically, what rewards are available for them, and whatever else. So hopefully this helps some of the smaller ecosystem dApps as well that need we could use a little bit of a leg up to help incentivize some activity and give something back to their users, but yeah, so I just wanted to share this, let you guys know what's coming down the pipe. It's it's on staging at the moment. There's a few more things to figure out, but yeah, it's a preview of a nice Christmas thing for nDApp too. Any questions on that? Yes, Tyler?
This isn't necessarily very value added, but I really like the design.
Okay.
I think it looks really good.
Thank you. I'll pass it on to our designer. Cool. So if anyone has a project or a contract, either in this call or later on, they want to help with, or want some help with, or want to be a part of, let me know. I think Shagon, are you still seeing?
No, sorry, I missed the button.
Okay, you meant to leave the call, accidentally raise your hand. Tyler?
So is this something that do you foresee us using this like doubly with like grant shares, for example, where maybe there's a project on there and then we like grant shares could help like fund a pool on Orbit, for example, to like incentivize people to use the project to try it out? Or like, how do you foresee this being used in the community as a whole?
What about yous? Hello? Am I back?
We're back, yeah.
Am I back? Sorry,
Yeah.
dropped out for a second.
I hear you.
Yeah, I mean, we can do it a number of ways. There, I think NNT is going to, put rewards in ourselves for things, but we could certainly, also use grant shares as a funnel to get some funds in there to help incentivize certain contracts or certain dApps to have activity. They might want to run a campaign. Like, let's say there's a game and they have a pack they want to incentivize people to open. Maybe we stick a bunch of gas or a bunch of their tokens on there, so everyone who opens the pack, also is entitled to these rewards at the end of the quarter as well, just from doing something that they may have done anyway, or maybe it'll incentivize them to open a few more to get those rewards as well. So
it is something that could be subsidized or sponsored, like it's a sponsorship tool. Like if we had a contract, for example, we could deploy it and then like partner with NNT to like have this reward mechanism in place. Okay, yeah, cool. Thank you.
Cool. All right. If there are no other questions, then we can move on to the next part, which is some of the discussion topics. Memento. Okay. So the first discussion topic is the governance portal. So the Flamingo boys work really hard to get this up, and we have the MVP up at the moment. It's available for testing. Some people have been able to get in and have claimed their node, registered accounts. So I guess I probably just want to open the floor up to you, Adrian and Nod. Is there anything you specifically want to say? Because my big message on this is let's start using it. Let's start testing it. I've thrown a proposal up there so we can actually start having a real discussion on there. But is there anything you guys want to highlight specifically to the rest of the group?
Yeah, two things. The first one you already said. Let's start using it. I already got some feedback from users in the Neo channel on Discord, and that's been valuable. We will implement or fix bugs or implement requested features that we see valuable as soon as we can without sacrificing what we need to prioritize on Flamingo. Right now we have a minimum viable product, so it should be viable to use it. And that's where we're at. And the second thing is it's important that we get all the nodes in so that they can vote on your proposal that you put up, Dean. And that's really nice that you did. That's a really concrete test case where we should have a little bit of engagement, hopefully some comments, hopefully some community members voting as well to show their sentiment. So yeah, but if we don't have all the nodes there, then maybe we won't get a majority for it, or majority against or for. I don't know. We've been able to onboard some already. The thing is, it's hard now to sign messages as a node if your private key is only on your server running the node. In the Neo CLI, you can't really sign arbitrary messages, and that's the way we intended to do it permissionless. There's been an issue. I tried to create a pull request for this on GitHub so that we are able to sign messages. In my own personal Neo CLI, I'm able to do it right now, but I know for everyone else running a node, they're probably not. So there will be other ways of proving that you're a node operator, let's say, a committee member, and then just try to reach out to us in the official Neo channel or to me in DM, and we'll figure it out together, and you'll be able to claim that node. But that's the most important thing. If we are able to get all like 21 members to have access in the portal to be able to vote, that would be really, really nice. So we want to see that, and at least enough nodes to have a majority on votes. So two things: just test. And if anyone wants to put up a proposal other than the one Dean has put up, please do so. That's really nice. We won't delete those proposals, but we might delete some other proposals where we just test stuff, some bugs, and then we just delete it later. So this is so far a centralized service. We agreed in Singapore to get something up and running as fast as possible to show the community that we are a bunch of doers that want to show the community what we're doing and be transparent about it. And this is the first step to do that. It will be more and more permissionless as we move on, I think, if we see use, if the community sees value, if the node operators, the committee members see value in it. This is the first stepping stone. Let's just go and use it. If there's any critical bugs, just PM me and I'll fix them as soon as possible. So that's it.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point. Like, we can't organize as a group, as a council, if we don't have a place to organize, right? We've had the Telegram for years, it's not working. We've got the Discord now as kind of a stopgap solution. We need a platform where we can have discussions, where we can hold votes, where the community can show us what they think in a structured, organized manner. And we decided we need this, and this is what we built. So it's really critical that everyone from the council gets on and gets behind this, because if we don't, everything else we want to do, all the other stuff we want to organize and implement, is going to be 50 times as hard. So I really want to drive that point home. Gil, you had your hand up first.
So like just to create like some FOMO, Dean was the first that created a first real proposal in there, and I was the first real comment in there. So like, you know, like we're the first. So creating FOMO here, you guys should get on board. Nice, good.
And I also want to say that there is a missing feature here that we discussed in Singapore that we would, maybe I think it was in our previous call or something, that we wanted to be able for us to create maybe polls instead to like gauge some sentiment from the community or something. But right now, that feature isn't there. And if there's the other way around, the community member that would like to propose something, they can't really do that now. That's up to the committee members to do. But most communities, I would expect most communities to be, like their leaders to be available. Mm-hmm. So if you have some proposal you want to see on the platform as a community member, just get a hold of the node that you're voting for and try to lobby to them. Can you create this proposal for me? And if they approve, they probably will. So there is a way now for you as a community member as well to directly affect the governance of Neo. just reach out, and probably they're more than willing to raise your concern if they feel it's a valid concern, not something spam or something. I hate Dean, and I would propose to fire him. Like, come on. but there are probably a lot of good ideas and suggestions out there. So just reach out to your, I would say, representative, and they'll be able to create that proposal for you.
Yeah. Odd, you have your hand up?
Yeah, hello guys. Let's please use the platform as it is right now. Our motivation to do more will be there once it's used more. I'm not going to spend 5 more minutes on it until I see people actually using it. And for everyone that says like, yeah, but is this decentralized or something like that? Like for 5, 6, 7 years now, we used Instagram and Discord. So we can like stay on this platform for a couple of years. That's no problem. And everything that's voted for here, like we saw, we had decentralized decision in Singapore, but it still needs human execution. So it doesn't matter if like we have a poll on chain and something is set in stone on chain. It doesn't get executed just because it's on a blockchain. So as long as we all as node operators agree that this is a good platform, you can all go into the API, fetch the proposals, and like keep your own copies of everything. So it's decentralized in that way. There's no secrets here, nothing that we can do that you can't like inspect. So this is as good as basically it should be for a governance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though Odd won't spend 5 more minutes, I'll spend some minutes if there's critical bugs. Just saying that.
Yes,
So
yes,
yeah,
critical bugs. Yeah.
I'll be the bug fixer, and usually Odd is good at like feature development and stuff as well, and or is a critical bug on the back end. Yeah.
I think as long as people can prove who they are, then that's kind of the most important thing, right? That's what we're trying to do with this node signing. And then with the community members, if you're watching this back, you want to get involved, jump on. You don't need to create an account with your name. You can sign in with just your wallet, right? And then you can, when you vote, or make a comment. I haven't seen any community comments yet, so I'm not sure if this is in there, but will I be able to see like, oh, this person has got 100 NEO, or this person has whatever, and maybe, I'm not sure if we've got in yet, we can see who they're voting for. That was something, at least on the roadmap.
I'm not sure if I implemented who they voted for, or maybe that's in their private account profile. I'm not sure, but at least you should be able to see how much weight is behind the comment, and you will be able to vote with your weight in NEO and BNEO. That's combined, your total combined in your voting, and that's I should say cached. So as you're making the comment, at that point in time, the user had that amount of NEO. So it's not live updating, I believe. I think it's
live for the community votes poll. It's not live right now. It will be live. That will be refreshed a couple of times a day.
Yeah.
But for the comments, it's not live. So if you had 1,000 NEO and you make a comment, at the time you made that comment, that's how much you had. For the community poll, it will be refreshed until the proposal runs out. Once the proposal is basically done, we can go back and we can see what was the community votes for this proposal. Yeah. So also, I think when you click on the profile of a user, you will be able to see their NEO holdings. And also, I think we have it already basically there, but not showing it on the front end who they are voting for.
Yeah, I know there's a bug like right now. It's either in front end or back end. Like in Gil's profile, his NEO holdings is Gil. So it should be maybe some other data point there, but at least we have it. So there's small bugs like that we'll be able to fix. I'm not sure we have it publicly available who they are voting for with the accounts, but I'll just do a quick check.
Yeah, I think that's the important thing for anyone. One of the important things, there's many important things for people back home to know, is you don't have to dox yourself to be a part of it, right? Like you can connect your wallet anonymously. We can still see, oh, this person obviously is committed to the ecosystem based on their holdings, their opinion matters. If you do want to have a username or whatever, that's great too. Us being able to see who you vote for helps us make decisions. If I see a lot of NEO News Today users pushing for something, well, that's a signal that our our voter base want us to do this, and we represent them. So that helps us make better decisions, and that should be the same for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does anybody here have any questions about the governance portal, its usage, or anything they want to ask the Flamingo team before we move on to the next part?
I'm not sure if we have a public URL to check or test it, the platform.
Yeah, we have, but it's not a Neo domain. It's basically a free Cloudflare domain, as we are in the beta. So I don't know where it's best to share the URL, but we do have a public one.
It's in the Council on Core channel.
It's quite lengthy because we don't have a, If we could get official Neo one with a beta governance, something, that would be nice. I'll set that up if someone can fix that, but I'm not sure who to ask and who has that power in the with the neo.org domain. But for me, it's fine to have it like
yeah.
it's now.
I mean, I think for us we know, but I think maybe users coming on to participate might feel a bit more comfortable. It didn't look like it was in staging.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll help you trace that down so we can get together.
Nice.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's move on to the core stuff. I think maybe considering we just talked about the governance, maybe the first one we should tackle is that bottom point there, the message signing, because I pinged Adrian and Shargon yesterday. We need this to move, and I think maybe we're not quite on the same page about what the holdup is. So maybe we can just have a quick discussion about that and work out how we get this item moving along.
I need to go in, I guess 5 minutes, but I can quickly share my side of it. The thing is, I created a PR, as I mentioned earlier, to fix this issue I had when creating the governance platform, that I couldn't sign arbitrary messages. That would be messages that are not transactions in the Neo CLI. That's the tool most nodes run to technically run their nodes and process transactions. So with this tool, you can then sign transactions manually, but you cannot sign arbitrary messages. And in your wallet provider, like Neon or Neoline, you are able to get a pop-up, and this is a message you can sign with your wallet. You're able to do so. The governance platform gets that signed message and sends it to the backend, and everything's fine. I know who you are. Everything is validated. It's permissionless. So I created this PR to change the code in the CLI to be able to do this functionality in the CLI, the node as well, with the exact same implementations as the wallet providers have now. It led down to a rabbit hole where I all of a sudden had to create a standard for signing messages, arbitrary messages on Neo, and I felt like, okay, this is too much. It's just working now, and I have it working on my computer. I don't see the security concerns because this is already done in all the wallet providers. So if it's dangerous, why is it there already? So yeah, that's that. I just left it, and I have to finish the portal. I can't stay with this. So maybe there's just some minor details that needs to be fixed. But if I need to create a standard, or we need to create a standard for this to be implemented, it's not going to be me who continues on that pull request. So yeah, that's my rant about it.
Before I go as well, I think this is a problem we have in Neo, and we need to solve that problem. We have too much bureaucracy. I live in maybe one of the countries in the world with most bureaucracy, so I'm really used to it. But even on Neo, it feels worse than Norway. We need to move fast. We're not at the place where we can just sit back and spend 3 weeks discussing naming of functions. We have to move fast. We're a dying chain.
I understand you.
We can sit there as 21 nodes and discuss things, but it doesn't matter in 6 months if we don't change anything.
I understand you, but in this specific case, if you are able to sign an arbitrary message or a message, and this signed signature is also valid for testnet and mainnet, is a security problem. So if it was already done in the wallet providers that I didn't know it, is wrong.
Well,
So-
there is padding to this. So you're not able to create a transaction using the arbitrary message signing. So because there is the specific padding, so you're not able to invoke this on testnet or mainnet. This is for offline.
It's just signing a message like log in.
Yeah, but it's a login, but is you have a testnet method for approve or a transfer method, like permit works in Ethereum, and if you sync this method in testnet and this signature is also valid for mainnet, it's a security problem. So I understand your concerns in other places, but in this specific one, we need a domain separator or something like that to deny this signature in other chains.
Yeah, but at least just DM us and we will add it to the portal. We can have some governance and we can decide on stuff we're not going to do either way. So it's like everything takes too long time, and that's what I need. Like my 5 minutes here now today, we need to speed things up.
Yeah,
a lot. Yeah.
Like I understand the concern. I thought it was a non-concern because it's already there in the wallet providers. So yeah, but, then there's either one of two like wallet providers to update their code because this is dangerous, or my take, just look at what you're signing in the node, and you should be fine.
Jimmy, you want to chime in?
I think the best way, if you want to speed it up, the best way to process the PRs is to discuss in Discord, directly reach to Flamingo, because he's currently the leader of the core developers. You can directly talk with him instead of waiting in dApps. Normally, PRs will be reviewed by multiple core developers, and normally different developers will have different opinions. So the discussion there will always take way longer than directly reaching and discussing to Flamingo. That's what I suggest you, because Steven told me about this issue. I reviewed the PRs. Actually, I don't know why the PRs was there, what is it for, and why you want it. There's no context about it. So I just left my comment in there. And
the context is in the issue, not in the PR, but yeah,
right.
It's a linked issue. But yeah, I'll take a quick look, and I guess you now understand what we want to do.
Yeah, directly reach to Flamingo. Directly reach to Flamingo.
Yeah,
it'll be much faster. Yeah,
I will work with Alvaro to port this PR to Neo Node repository, because we already moved the CLI code to another repository.
Yeah.
So we will move this PR to this repository, and we will use the same signature method that we currently use internal to avoid this signature replay attack. But now my concern is that the wallets provided already have his own personal signature message method. They should change also.
That will break stuff. Probably because there's a specific algorithm there. So it's a canonical way of doing this. It's been done for a long while. So you need to think about that as well. It's been like this for years, the way of doing it. That's implemented in the CLI now and the PR. I really got to go, but we'll just continue on in DMs. Shargan, is that okay?
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your time. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Adrian. Tyler, say something?
Yeah, I just want to speak to the wallet provider integration on this. So any message that is relayed to the user has to explicitly say which network they're configured for. to sign on, and the wallet won't relay the transaction on any other network. So I understand there could, like, you could fork it, you could implement it a different way, we could maliciously do that, but it's a self-custodial open source wallet, so that's like kind of handled by the fact that it is open source, but it is blocked out on the wallet side, at least on the for Wallet Connect on Neon, and any other wallet that's using Wallet Connect as part of the protocol. But I agree with Fernando on this. It's a substantial refactor for the entire ecosystem. It's going to break everybody. It's going to be a major breaking change for the dApps. It'll be a major breaking change for all the wallet users. We're talking about what's basically a major version change across both, or basically everybody in the ecosystem. And migrations like that, I think everybody here has experienced how painful those can be.
In my opinion, if they use a wrong logic, they must upgrade this logic, because not because all the wallet providers doing something wrong, we should doing wrong. So if they have a signature replay problem, we don't need to port this problem to Neo CLI. We need to do the things well.
Okay. I think this topic we can continue discussing in Discord, but maybe let's move on to some of the other ones. So I think just for the reduced fees, Shago, just give a quick update on where they are. Like I saw the execution fee factor 1 has been merged, and maybe just give a very quick status update on the reduced fee on the other one, the whitelisting one.
Yeah, according to the reduced fees, we have two main PRs. One is the execution fee factor that is already merged, but we need to do some changes in Neo CLI, and because Neo CLI was moved to another repository, I'm working on those changes. So, but more or less is already done. And the other one is the whitelist of the contracts, in order to make it free. If the council set a specific address or a specific method, it could be free. This is under review. I want to merge it today or tomorrow, because seems already done to me. So both PR are already done. My unique concerns is that in order to release these changes to MainNet, we need to release a new version. The next one is the 3.9, and we have in the checklist some changes related to NEP21 that is almost done. But Eric wants to do some changes in that proposal. So I proposed to remove NEP21 from the next release. Otherwise, we will wait more to release these fee changes to the community. That's the first point.
Okay. Anyone got any questions about that?
I know that Roman and Anna don't want to remove the NEP25 from this release, but if we wait for a new specification for NEP25, this release will be the last month. So if we want the fee changes as soon as possible, we should move the NEP25 to the next release, 3.10.
Well, from our side, yes, we discussed NEP25 with Roman just yesterday, and to us, the current implementation is perfectly okay and looks good. And from our side, we agree to merge it as is. So it looks like the problem is with Eric. Eric requested some changes. And we To be honest, we don't. We are not sure that these changes are that it's worth to apply these changes. So, if we can agree to merge nApp 25 as it is implemented right now, then it will be okay. So we probably should talk to Eric.
Cool. All right, well then we'll wait to see what the outcome on that is. Regarding the flatten rewards jargon, I know this is one we discussed a bit in the GitHub.
Yeah.
I think we just need to explain what the rollout process is, because we made this decision. Obviously, making a change like this needs to be done safely. We don't really have time to discuss today, but I think as a council and the core, we need to discuss how we can, the process of us making a decision that's a technical change and getting that across to you guys with the scope, the freedom to be able to determine, can we do this safely, right? Because we might vote for a change and throw it across to you guys, and no, there's no way in the world this will work. But that's a conversation for another call. But yeah, maybe we can just talk about like the rollout process and why it's being done in steps, so the community understands why this isn't just a quick fix or a quick change.
Yeah, I'm working on the node proof, because as I understand, if we don't prove that you have a node behind the register address, we cannot apply this change safely. In fact, we have a recently problem related to this. So I propose a little proof of work, and Roman and Eric are not agree with that. So I will try to find a different way to try to prove that you have a node. All of opinion are welcome. So if you have any idea about how to prove it, is welcome. Roman just say that a regular transaction is enough, but I want to make it harder. And after we have this solved, I think we cannot advance in the flatten rewards.
So I guess for people watching, where anyone doesn't understand, the issue is that if we flatten the rewards, then right now the current governance mechanism incentivizes people to vote for stability, like the nodes we already have. If we flatten all the rewards, then the council makeup can change significantly overnight. And right now we don't know if everybody is running a node and is able to participate in consensus. So if they get voted into the top 7 and they're not running a node, then that could stall the network and that could be bad. So that's why we need to have the proof of node before we can get to the flattened rewards across the top. LD Dora, I see you have your hand up there.
Yeah, this is Dora from HashKey. I'm with John, and we just want to add one more thing is besides all the technical part, maybe we can add some how to say it, a portal to our governance platform, which we can attract some projects or more ecosystem projects from outside. Like they can apply for grants, or they can build on Neo, and because like the AI agents is quite hot recently, and maybe we can add a window to our governance platform to open to the outsiders. So that in that way we can activate the whole ecosystem.
Yeah, so we have the grant shares platform at the moment where people can come in and make a proposal in order to get grants. I'm not sure how big the treasury is at the moment, but we're not running short right now. So we could add that to the governance page as well. So if that is the portal where people enter in through, they can see what's available there. It's not a bad idea also to have on that maybe a list of other possible like opportunities that are available. So I know that Spoon OS, like you talk about the AI agents, they've got the I can't remember what they're called program. There's some grant program as well to build agents on Spoon OS, which is Neo's AI framework or Neo-led AI framework to build Web3 native AI apps. So yeah, I agree with you. I think there are ways that we can bring that into the governance portal as well, so people can see that all in that one space. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. All right. So with the flatten rewards, we really need to solve the proof of work first. Fernando, that's so. If anybody else has any ideas, I guess what you're saying is you're open to them on GitHub. Get in and do that because there's no one has there's not an agreed upon solution for that just yet, and that's going to be a blocker to getting to the flat rewards essentially.
Yeah, it's not, Dean, just to clarify, it's not that proof of work is required. This was one of the proposals of
Right.
Shadowgorn,
Proof of node.
and then like this
What I
is being
mean.
discussed. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Then the 3-7 blocks. Tyler, I think you wanted to make sure we could just quickly ask about this.
Yeah, I brought this up previously, and it has come up from multiple collaborators that we've pitched to in the past as well. And I think we've observed this actually in the field doing activations and things like that as well. Like the 15-second block time, it's not competitive. And we're starting to also, even from the community itself, get feedback that they want something that's a little more performant that can compete. And I'm not, on this 3 seconds isn't competing with some of these intentionally performant platforms. So I think there's like this Mega F project, for example, but like 3 second does get us to the point where it's below the threshold of concern for most users, I think, right? By the time you've either scanned or pushed a button to relay the transaction and it's made the HTTP request, right? It's gotten a response. Like 3 seconds is really an appropriate time for that. It's something that we've already discussed. We've already implemented it. At least in NeoGo, we've tested it. We've agreed that this is something for us to have. Like, it would be horrible for us to get like that close to it. And this is a major feature enhancement, and then just let all of that work decay. And that's what it kind of feels like. Like we've sort of done all the work, the hard stuff now, and we're sort of pivoting to go talk about the next thing without just doing that extra little amount of effort to get it actually into production where we start to see the value. So I wanted to raise this topic again because it is something that's actually being asked for. We're being pulled to implement it instead of this group kind of defining what we want to change based on indirect feedback.
Sheldon, hands up.
Yeah, just to be clear, do you think that this is not enough with the dynamic block interval that Eric proposed in Neo 4? You proposed
we've both worked in this ecosystem for a very long time. Like Neo 4 right now is, if I'm being completely honest, an abstract concept where all of these BD deals are going to be dead before it potentially shows up. So like the 3 second block time is something we can implement right now to anchor these and continue relevance in this industry while Neo 4 shows up. Like this is the biggest that we're running into right now with Neo 4 is the situation where it's kind of like okay, everybody just wait for this other feature that's going to be later. It's going to be later. It's going to be the best thing ever. And it feels very it reminds me a lot of the Neo legacy to Neo N3 thing, where it's kind of a like sit back and wait for this thing that's going to be great when everything, like, we need solutions now though. To Odd's point earlier.
I thought we'd already, maybe I'm wrong. I thought we'd already got 3-second block times onto testnet, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, and this is what I mean is like we've done all of the hard stuff, right? Like NSPCC has run performance evaluations on the network, on NeoGo. We've implemented in C#. Like we have the thing. Why don't we implement it? It's a huge feature. It's a major differentiator. It is going to cost us projects.
So I dropped out for a second. Jimmy, I think you got your hand up.
The 3-second, it's related to the 3-second blocks because, as Dean just mentioned, it's already being implemented. It's totally up to the console to enable it. Like it's a functionality in there. It's like a switch in there. If you wanted to enable it, you can enable it. Everything's already settled for months already.
So is this we can?
Yeah, you can.
Priority. So it sounds like it's just a communication topic, making all the council members aware that this is there, and then us agreeing to turn it on.
Yeah, it's totally up to the council.
Okay, well, that's
I just
something
thrown
for
that in my face. Then. Okay, so I think maybe we should coordinate the time then for deployed nodes to implement this. Then I think that's. Thank you, Jimmy, for the clarification.
Yeah, let's discuss this more in the channel on Discord and work out how to get this up and live. I had no idea. I didn't know. That's why these calls are important.
Remember that you also need to change the gas per block, otherwise you will change completely the economic.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Gil, go.
So it's a coordinated effort because we have like to change the block generation time as a network setting, like all the validators and also the console nodes have to change that, including the gas per block, which is basically something that have to change in the have to coordinate and have a transaction signed by the console to change that parameter. So like both should happen at the same time. Is that right, Shargon and Jimmy?
You can just do it in single transaction. You don't need to create like two transactions, different transactions.
Okay, cool.
Sweet. All right. Well, let's go ahead and do that. I mean, I guess I assume the council will be in favor. We can take a vote on the governance portal if we need to. But I guess we vote by signing the transaction anyway, right? Cool. All right. So that settles that. I think that's all that. So move on to the proposals. So basically, I've posted this on the governance portal. Probably, to be honest, should have done a better job of, let me switch the screen I'm sharing. So this is the proposal I put up. I probably should have done a better job up here of defining the proposal, but I figured because there was a pitch deck, most of the information is in there. But basically what I'm proposing is that we initiate a council-led and funded developer hub in Europe. What I would like to see, Neo has a very rich history of on-the-ground developer engagement. And that was one of the things that really drove and supported a lot of our early growth. We're talking like pre-COVID times. We had tons of hackathons all through Europe and Asia, and not just hackathons, workshops and things like that. And that's something that we've lost in recent years. I'm a big believer in that blockchain is a relationship industry, even more so than a technology industry. And we are not doing a good job of building relationships with people outside of our ecosystem and inviting them in. And I think having an on-the-ground presence somewhere that regularly holds events, regularly does engagements, is available to support developers and to build those relationships would be really helpful in reigniting that culture. There's obviously many ways you can do that. It's not easy. The way that I thought to approach this was to find someone, a partner who essentially could help with this. And the partner we've been talking to is Luna Strategy. Some of the reasons are in here. Basically, they have experience with this kind of initiative. They have done this for other chains. They're very deep ties in the blockchain space. They're very engaged. They're very Web3 native. They're familiar with Neo. They also have a venue to host events and things like that, like workshops, social events, small hackathons, and things like that, which is a big help. The reason I wanted to do Europe is because I think we should do this in the West, and I think Europe makes sense because we have a lot of talent in that area. We have Gil and his team. COZ has members in Europe. Nash is out there. We've got the Revisec boys who are, a short flight away. Flamingo are in Europe as well. So there's lots of people that we can get on the ground to help run events there. That's why I think Europe is a good option. So there's a proposal in here. You can go in and have a look. I won't go through all the slides. There's some stuff about Luna for you in there. Why Europe? Why a hub? So what we're trying to do is repeat engagement, not just run an event and then that's it. We want to have smaller events leading up to bigger events where we get to know people, maybe have like idea-a-thons, or maybe it's just pizza and beer with developers. Just I don't know, just stuff to really get familiar and build those relationships. Workshops as well, hands-on familiar stuff with the tools. You can go through Luna's track record and all that on your own time, but basically this is kind of the idea of what we're thinking. So it would be a pilot, right? We need to prove that this can work before we go and try and do it for a whole year or beyond. Basically, month one, we would sort of be setting up the socials, getting some awareness about it, reaching out to a lot of the local groups. Luna would be doing a lot of this for us, by the way. I'm just trying to start to build the network, the people who'd be interested in coming in and being a part of the Neo community. The second month, we would sort of announce like a small hackathon with a certain theme. We've discussed a couple. It's all up for discussion. We sort of think that when we do this, we focus in on one particular language and technology because it's just too hard to support if, it's like Python, Java, Go, C#, all of them. Let's focus in on one particular language, one particular technology we want to build upon. Run pre-technical workshops, have office hours. We can have people remote in on the computer to support as well on Discord and things like that. Do cross promotion, and then that would culminate in a hackathon. And then, there would be a lot of marketing material to come out the back of that as well. Videos, articles, we can showcase the top projects. And the idea is we want to then see this talent, but then keep them in the ecosystem as well. So then we would, be finding ways to do that afterwards. So this is kind of the technical scope. We just sort of, again, this is a pitch. This is like, all this is a proposal, all the stuff, a discussion. But so everyone's aware, I had a call. I asked Tyler and Gil to join as well because they have a lot of experience both running and participating in hackathons and these kind of programs as well. And this is kind of what we sort of put together at a high level, something that we thought might make sense. So the core stack, we think maybe Go would be the best one to do. We could maybe focus on NeoFS. Everyone who touches NeoFS tells us how great it is and how, there's nothing that does quite what NeoFS is. It's so underutilized and underpromoted by us. So that could be a good thing to focus on. Having an event net, just come up with some tracks for the hackathon. Again, trying to focus on smaller things rather than making it too broad. So maybe it's using the storage, maybe it's physical assets in RWA, and then, identify our outcomes as well. So you can see there, identify friction points in our tools is always a good one. Validate the documentation improvements, get feedback. But, I think the main thing is bringing people into the ecosystem, engaging them, and putting them on a path to success in the Neo ecosystem itself. some of the event types we can do: small community warm-ups, workshops, things like that. Then follow-up activities as well. Getting them, hand-holding them into grant shares, hand-holding them into a conversation with eco growth, things like that. Finding other ways to support them. Not everything has to be money, or handing out money. Getting them tickets to conferences in their region, things like that. The builder retention plan. So there's a lot here. I know we're already running a lot over time, but basically, I want to throw this out. I want to discuss this. We can have a quick discussion now, but I want to discuss it on the governance portal. This is something I'm proposing that the council, that we all chip in and fund, right? The pilot, at least what's quoted in here, you can see what we're going to achieve here as well. So hackathon, 40 to 60 participants, 10 to 15 prototypes, 500,000 impressions on social, 500 new members in a NEO community group, media coverage, etc., etc. It's all in here for you to review later on. I think they're pretty decent goals. Skipping ahead. So this is the estimated cost. So basically it comes to about 60K, which if we all pitch in from what we're earning from gas rewards is not a huge amount from each council group. Beyond that, we'd have to see what the commitment would be beyond that. But this is a pilot to get it running. Maybe if it goes really well, then maybe we can, get support. Maybe the foundation wants to chip in, but I think it's really important that if we do this, it is a council-led thing. We need to show that we're all willing to put, our resources towards something like this, and help get it off the ground. So I've just rambled for 5 to 10 minutes. Anybody want to? Any comments, questions? Tyler Gill, you're a part of the conversation. So is there anything I've missed or rambled over you want to add?
I think the biggest thing is streamlining the development, like the onboarding. Especially in early hackathons, although we still run into it, the onboarding can take a lot of time, especially because at least on the N3 side, it is not an EVM platform, right? There is a lot of the pre-existing knowledge that these people will approach a hackathon, and at least on the N3 side will not be particularly relevant. So we need to assume their base level of understanding of how blockchain works and how to build contracts and dApps as a whole is going to be lower than if somebody was going to like an Ethereum hackathon, for example. And that is something that we really need to tackle hard. And that's why, in this proposal, there's one language. We're not dealing with telling people to pick 50 different languages and run through all the different tutorials and templates and try to figure that out, right? There are templates that are provided which have the entire project, like a dApp scaffold or multiple that they can pick from, right? There's an event net, so people don't really have to worry about how to use like the faucet to get gas and everything. They can just, that's at least basically designed, right? We can have a custom implementation that facilitates the hackathon experience. It's just, we need to really focus on that onboarding, because not only is that going to deliver better dApps, it's going to lead to a much better experience in the hackathon, and it's going to significantly reduce the fallout. I cannot tell you how many projects have approached this ecosystem and they start working and then they just get frustrated and go somewhere else. Like they don't even make it to having a smart contract just because they started and they accidentally used Neo legacy documents, for example, and they're on M3 and then they wrote a bunch of code and nothing was actually working, or they couldn't sign a transaction, that kind of thing. So we really need to streamline that initial engagement to onboard people to make this successful. And that's one of the reasons that some of the hackathon and the workshops are structured in the way they are.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I mentioned it at the start, but the location would be Lisbon. Because that's where Luna is based, and based on what people have told me from Europe, Lisbon is a really good place because the regulations and laws there are very favorable for startups, entrepreneurs, freelancers. So it's becoming quite a hub, a tech hub. Yeah, Maria?
Yes, I would love to add a few words about Tyler's point, because I agree and I have dealt with such situations. And when you have a hackathon with some special technical stack that is not common, it can be supported by a bootcamp previously. So to get people onboarded for that, they can get an understanding of what they will do and how they can deal with it, how they can work with it. So this approach, we used with this approach for the hackathons we were involved in.
Tyler, put your hand up.
Yeah, I just fat fingered.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and I think that one thing I want to make sure that we don't lose sight of is the proposal is not to do a hackathon. The proposal is to pilot a hub, right? The hackathon is just like the culmination of the first couple of months. Like I think we've seen enough hackathons to know that like there's a lot of mercenaries that go around, they just go compete for the prizes and then leave, right? They don't have any intention of trying to build a business after. What we're trying to build here is a community of people who will stay around and then help them be successful with those businesses in our ecosystem. One of the things that we also discussed, is not in the proposal, but this is something we can discuss more on the governance platform, is holding the next center point in conjunction perhaps with this hackathon, right? So I think what conference was in Europe around the end of March? Do you remember, Gil? Which one was it we were looking at?
So what do you mean, like the center point, or?
Yeah, because we're talking about center point, and we like to do center point around other big conferences, so people don't have to travel specifically for center point. They can travel for the other conference and then come to center point. It makes things easier. But we'd identified a conference in Europe around the end of March, something like that.
I think it was potentially in Paris blockchain. Week, the two.
Paris
HCC
is Paris Blockchain Week is in the beginning of April.
Mm-hmm.
There was another one that you had mentioned. I think.
Yeah, I think FCC was the one. Yeah.
Yeah. EFCC. Oh yeah, EFCC is in Cannes, in France, and I'm just taking a look here. Is on the 30th of March,
right,
until the 2nd of April.
So what we could potentially do, if we go with this pilot, is time the hackathon to be around that event, and then we can do center point there as well, right? So we've got the community there to support, to meet people, to welcome them all with open arms, and it'll probably become a lot more cost effective for center point because we can use the same premises and everything for that and this, and then do this over a couple of days. And I think if we're trying to forge those relationships, having everybody there will go a lot further. So that's a possibility as well. No worries, Maria. Does anybody else have any initial comments or questions on this?
I'm fully supporting this, also because I was part of the discussion, Sadine, with Tyler, and you, and yeah, if anyone has any questions, can come either to me or to Dean, Tyler, of course, like to debate and to discuss this. No problem at all.
Yeah, I really, aside from like this sort of thing just being important to help rebuild the culture and the community, I think it's really important that we as a council come together to action things. And so I see this as an opportunity for us to do something like that. We agree, if you agree, this is something the ecosystem needs, and we're all going to, come together to make this a reality. We're not waiting for someone else, to come and do it for us. We're going to take the initiative. So I really encourage you all to get on the governance portal, claim your nodes, message Odd or Adrian if you've got any issues doing that, and let's take the discussion forward there. Community, if you're watching this later, you're also welcome to get on the portal and tell us your thoughts. The proposal is there for everyone to see. It is a proposal. It can be changed. Things can be tweaked. We can make different decisions. But yeah, it's up there for everyone to see. So, okay. Sounds like there's no other comments on that. So we're just about done. Let me just check my. Oh yeah. So I just had a few last minute reminders. Nothing too big here. So again, register on the governance platform and begin participating in discussions. Maybe you've got your own proposal. We'll love to hear them too. Again, if you do not have access to the Council and Core channel and you're a council or a core member, please reach out so we can get you on there. And if you're working on any initiatives that you would like to present on the next call within your teams, anything that's relevant to NEO that will help the ecosystem, just like Tyler did at the beginning, I did with Orbit, please reach out so we can schedule in for the next call. We can try and have these more frequently if people want to try and keep the call time down so we can get through more topics. I feel like the 4-week cadence is probably what people are most comfortable with. It's hard with time zones, but I'm not the boss. So you guys tell me if you want me to organize something differently. But yeah, Gil, you want to say something?
I just want to say that I realized in the last couple of days and during this call, some sort of, I think like people don't know yet broadly what is the link of the governance proposal, the governance portal. What is the link? How can I find and this kind of thing? So I took the freedom here to go on the console and core channel in Discord. And then I pin the message. Like governance portal, there's the link there. So like maybe Dora, for example, Dora, if you have from HashKey, if you have any kind of suggestions, go there, claim your node, provide suggestions on features and things that you want to see. There's a thread, on that channel called Governance Portal Testing. So yeah, I just want to raise this the awareness of where is the link, how can I do, where should I go, yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Cool. No worries. Anyone got any last minute comments or topics? All right, sounds good. Thank you all for joining. Let's stay in communication in the Discord and on the portal, and I'll reach out to schedule one of these in another couple of weeks. Christmas is a month away, so exactly a month from today, so maybe not exactly a month, but I don't know what everyone's, if people take time off from holidays or not, but at some point we'll get another one set up and hopefully just keep the ball rolling. So let's do that. Let's try and keep the ball rolling. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.